Yo guys, hello from the Trailer Fitter Toolbox HQ. The background here is my editing suite. It's a Mac, and I do all my video editing, and then I have this little microphone here which is not switched on because I'm talking through a lavalier mic. Today I did a video outside and I've got some interference which fucked up the sound completely, so I'm gonna have to start all over again. Well, I haven't got much to do anyway at the moment while I'm still on furlough. Yep, that's still happening. I know some guys have gone back to work. Good on you, if the work's there. Thanks for the comments on the last video. One that stood out was from Opel Manta mechanic, and he's indicating that possibly there might be less work about for us. Yeah, mechanics are going to be 10 a penny. Well, I doubt that very much. I doubt that very much. There was a shortfall of technicians before all this stuff kicked off, and employees will tell you that they've had a fucking hard job trying to get technicians to, well, just to get technicians. The pool in Poland has dried up, and you know, it's something that's been hard on them, but things are changing. This is what I want to talk about today, really, because Manta, Mr. Manta, he's gone into work and he's done that extra little bit to shine out a bit more. Now, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all, because this is what we need to do. He's like, you know, I'm the best employee, make sure you keep me. It works in small garages. It works on the workshop floor where you're highly visible. Maybe the workshop controller and the supervisor will see this, but in big companies, managing directors, the accountants and everybody above that don't see that. They see the bottom line figures on the paperwork and their spreadsheets, because that's all they're interested in at the end of the day. The business has got to make money, and we are now sailing into very unpredictable times. Okay, I've been made redundant twice. This is through contract changes, and a business got sold, and we were the last to know. Each case, the fitters on the workshop floor that were turning the vehicles around were the last to know. So I've developed a strategy in my own mind to make sure that if the shit does hit the fan and suddenly I have to wheel my toolbox out, that at least that I'm okay, that I can keep the bills paid. Now, strategy one, first of all, is I don't rely on overtime, and this is one way I would advise you to do, is to live within your means. Okay, that's the first thing, is that your basic rate, what you're getting paid for your 39-hour week, is what you are going to get. That's what you should live on, with a little bit extra. Now, excuse me, now the overtime is that extra on top of it, and you should always be striving to get the overtime or getting money in from elsewhere. The problem comes is when your overtime is suddenly cut, you don't have as much work, and you rely on that overtime to pay your bills. Then you are fucked, aren't you? Yeah. Regardless if she wants a new kitchen or you need a new fridge or anything like that, okay, if she's that type of person where you just bow and scrape to and you don't know your own self-worth, then if she's threatening to leave because you're not earning enough, well, let her go. Let her fucking go. Yeah, it's one of those things where you should make sure that you have a war chest. This is in point number one. You should have like a war chest just in case shit does happen, and then you've got something to rely on. Now, some guys would advise to have 6 months to a year's worth of money so you can at least pay your rent or your mortgage. Yeah, and that's quite serious money, and I don't think most of us can actually do that. But if you have even an extra income coming in while there's no overtime, all the better. Yeah. The second one, okay, back off. Yeah, the second one is keeping yourself in the loop, okay, of social connections, where the work is, having your CV up to date, just in case something does happen, and then you're in the know, you're the first one in the queue to go and get that other job. Guys that go on MOT testing, and they're up at the test station, they're talking to others all the time. They know what's going on, because fitters talk to each other, don't they? That's a handy grapevine connection, so you should always be good to your MOT driver tester, shouldn't you? Yeah, always, yeah. Even though we've not got testing going on at the moment, that will come back, yeah. Snap-on is a very, very good point of call. If he's worth his salt, he will know what's going on in his round, so he'll know where there are jobs. He'll know when somebody's leaving and somebody else can jump in, yeah. And this is the way that you can get your social connections to work for you, yeah. It's very, very important. Your employee at the end of the day is selling your hours, and he can only sell so many. And the problem comes is when you get operators, vehicle owners and stuff like that, that turn around, they plead poverty and they want their hourly rate cut down. If they've got a high volume of work, this works sometimes with companies, because the companies will sell themselves short to make sure the work is coming in the door. Which at the end of the day, if you usually do a 2-hour service and you've asked to do it in 1.5 hours, that means you're getting a pay cut, and you're also running the risk of cutting corners and not doing the job properly. Yeah, it's a very, very dangerous area to be in. Most companies won't do that. They won't agree to cutting the hourly rate, but some do. Okay, they don't know their own worth, and what they do is that they will drop their hourly rate as long as they have a lot of work coming, and they will take that up the arse to make sure that they at least have a turnover. Yeah, and it's a bit shaky territory as far as I'm concerned, and I do look for this. If I'm asked to take less time on a job and I'm not being given a productivity bonus, then the alarm bells, there's a red flag goes off. The alarm bells go off in my head, thinking, well, hang on a minute, you're devaluing yourself. You're bending over, and you've given the operator a pot of Vaseline, yeah, for them to shaft you with it. It's not our business. We just do the work that we do. Getting contracts, getting the hourly rate right is up to the guys upstairs, the ones that run the business. Yeah, if they're cutting themselves short, they're cutting their throats to get the work, then I'm afraid that is a very big red flag. Okay, so that's point 2. Yeah. Point 3 is to understand your value by the skills that you have. Yeah. Now, you're a technician, you're a mechanic, whichever occupation in this vast world that we have, you will have more than just fitting skills. You will have more than just a toolbox. Okay. Myself, I have quite a few varied skills that I can diversify, and this is the last resort, is to diversify and do something that you wouldn't normally consider. Okay, driving license is a classic, isn't it? Yeah, if the shit hits the fan, there'll always be delivery drivers jobs, 7.5 ton dustbin, class 2 dustbin drivers, yeah, even like 3.5 ton van drivers, delivery drivers. And I know it's demanding work, but it's job. If the push came to the shove and you needed to do a different occupation, for instance, I've personally been developing myself at work and beyond work, so I recognise the skills that I do have. One of those is interpersonal skills, the other one is video skills, and this is just out of it. It's a hobby, yeah, it's a hobby. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could set up a project if somebody approached me to do it, and I could set up a YouTube channel and do videos, but I'd want the money for it. Yeah, not that anybody would. However, I know how to do it. Yeah, that's a skill. Yeah, and if I needed to, maybe I could go and chase a job that way if it came to it. Yeah, which also involves marketing as well. Yeah, it's just those areas of possibilities which can be diversified. So if you're a guy who's good at talking to people, we use computers, and you can you do your paperwork on time, you cross the T's and dot the I's. Yeah, that is a recognised aspect to your skills which you can use, you can optimize if you need to. Yeah. So even if it's just pushing paperwork in a company for a while, that's a possibility. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's about knowing yourself. All of us are unique. All of us are individual, and we will all have skills that we can use in different areas. So it's not just about fitting. I know you'd prefer to stay as a technician, wouldn't you? It's the default option. However, if the jobs are not there and there are areas that are developing elsewhere, then you can look at that and see where the opportunities are. So it's not all lost at all, is it? But you have to be flexible and adaptable to survive, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Yeah, As long as you aren't spending beyond your means and you do have social connections and you can diversify, then you have a better options than sitting there going, well, I'm out of work, there's not enough work, what the fuck am I going to do? Yeah, because there are guys like that. They're completely and utterly fucking lost if they're not given anything. However, I don't think personally that this is going to happen. I think we'll have enough work for us to do. When the MOT testers go back to work in the UK, that means that there will be the MOTs to do. Yeah, because that is quite a considerable chunk of most garages' work, is to turn stuff around for MOT testing, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm not unduly worried. I'm sitting here on furlough still, and it's quite hard to just sit with yourself. I'll explain this in another video. However, I look on Facebook and you've got these guys that are still at work and they're moaning about us getting 80% of our wage for doing fuck all. Well, matey, try doing fuck all and see how long you're going to survive doing it without going around the fucking twist. Yeah? It's hard work. It's really hard work. But then you get used to it. It's like doing like years of trailer service and you get so fucking used to it, you love it, don't you? Anyway, that's enough from me. I've spouted enough bullshit today. Just look after yourself, guys. It might be a little bit turbulent, but you still have yourself, don't you? So look after yourself and also look after your family. They're the most important things, aren't they? If you're on your own, you're on your own. If you're not, you're not. Okay, I'll see you later. Take it easy, yeah.